Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be using ChatGPT to make the best stories ever. Now, I got an English essay that's in about 1 week about Macbeth, and it's like the most boring book in history. So we're going to be seeing if ChatGPT can make an even better book than Macbeth by Shakespeare. So, let's give it a little topic. Write me a story about a love relationship between Romeo and Juliet, aka the worst book in existence. I can't spell. Fuck, how do you spell Juliet? It's like that, right? Yeah, boom. Juliet, where they kissed and they had. Okay, let's keep it appropriate. And they had a baby that got run over by a truck in 2 seconds, and the world catches on fire, and then they get murdered by the father. Then the father dies, and he gets burnt alive, even though he died. How does that work? None of it works. Alright, let's see how this abomination will come out, you know. In the vibrant city of Verona, two young souls named Romeo and Juliet found themselves entwined in a love that transcended time and societal boundaries. Their love story was like no other, filled with passion, tragedy, and a hint of the supernatural. That's literally Macbeth. Fuck you for making that. Romeo, a dashing young man with a big heart as big as the sun, but Juliet, a grown blah blah blah. Days turned into week and their love blossomed like a delicate of roses. Blah blah blah. They had flowers and they had an electric. How does that work? And I don't think electricity was invented back then. In the magical moment, their lips finally met in a tender, passionate kiss. It was a kiss that sealed the love and ignited a flame that would burn brighter than the sun, than the stars. Little did they know their love was lead to the creation of a precious life. Months later, their love has grown even stronger. Juliet's belly began to swell with the promise of new life. They joy knew no boundaries as they got a baby. Fate had other plans. In a cruel twist of events, the baby's life was tragically cut short when a speeding truck tore through the streets of Verona, snatching their happiness in a matter of seconds. That's the most PG way of saying their baby died within 2 seconds. I don't think trucks were invented back then too. As grief engulfed Romeo and Juliet, a strange phenomenon began to unfold. The world around them seemed to be spiraling into chaos. Flames erupted from the earth and the sky turned into a deep shade of red. It was as if the elements were mourning the loss of their incidents. Amidst the chaos, their hearts shattered and their love seemed destined for a tragic end. Romeo's father, consumed by the grief and anger, sought vengeance for the loss of his grandchild. Blinded by his emotions, he confronted Romeo and Juliet, leading to a devastating confrontation. The scene that followed was one of despair and heartbreak. Again, that's the most PG way of saying both of them get brutally murdered. And the flames of destruction claimed not only the lives of Romeo and Juliet, but also their love itself. The world has once been their stage of passion and devotion was reduced to ashes, and yet, the story doesn't end here. In the aftermath of the tragedy, whispers began to spread of a haunting tale. Legend spoke of two lovers whose love was so powerful that it reshaped the world itself. Some say that their spirits still linger in the ruins of Verona, forever bounded by the love that defied even death. In the end, the story became a blah blah blah. That's a terrible story. Thank you so little for making that story, ChatGPT. Write me a story. We're gonna make it so stupid about how person died from drinking too much water, which actually was poisoned. Then, with the nuclear waste that Homer Simpson threw out in that one episode where the car burned down and the nuclear power plant exploded like Fukushima, however you fucking, like in 2001 in Japan, and then Hiroshima happened and World War II starts, but then the sun explodes and we all die to realize this was a dream. But then waking up from the dream, you get run over by a truck. And also, this story is set in 1900. Actually, no, we'll make it like 1000 in this city of I always know San Luis do Haha is an actual city in Canada, so I'm like, what the hell? So we're just gonna send that in the quaint city of St. Louis do Haha. Nestled beside the serene waters and rolling hills lived a man named Victor. Okay. He was an unassuming individual who went about his life with a calm demeanor, finding joy in simple pleasures. On one seemingly ordinary morning, Victor woke up in an what the fuck is that word? He stumbled into the kitchen and grabbed a glass of water, only to chug it down in a rush. Feeling parched still, he refilled the glass and continued to drink. Unbeknownst to Victor, a shadowy figure has tampered the water supply, contaminating it with toxic remnants of nuclear waste. A shadowy figure? That's how you describe Homer Simpson. As the hours passed, Victor's health began to deteriorate rapidly. Unrelenting nausea and dizziness overcame him, but he attributed his discomfort to a simple stomach bug. In reality, the poison was ravaging his body, and there was no antidote in sight. Meanwhile, the rumors began to circulate about the strange happenings in the city, whispers of an eerie connection between the toxic water and the events from an infamous episode of a television show. Reaching Victor's eyes, but he dismissed them as mere coincidences. I just like it how these paragraph changes are so different. So we go from a eerie connection between a television show to him drinking water. Just as his condition was, the world around him seemed to shift and warp. Suddenly, he found himself transported to the year 2011. Reliving the tragedies of the past, the horrors of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. I should be laughing at that. And the heartbreaking memory of Hiroshima's destruction during World War II played out before him in a surreal and disturbing sequence. Firstly, I told this to be set in the year 1000, and secondly, World War II did not happen in 2011. As he struggled to comprehend the events unfolding around him, a deafening roar filled the air, and the sun itself erupted in a blinding explosion. The shockwave consumed everything, and Victor's existence was reduced to oblivion. In those last moments, he realized that he was trapped in a twisted nightmare. But then, like a sudden awakening from a fevered dream, Victor found himself jolted back into reality. It was like the side of a road in St. Louis too hard. His heart racing and he struggled to catch his breath. The warmth of the sun, blah blah blah. Relived to be in the real world, he slowly got into his feet as his heart was racing from the surreal experience. However, as he stepped onto the road to continue his day, fate has one last twist in store. A loud honk pierced through the air. Before he could react, a truck barreled down the road, snuffing out his existence in an instant. It's a snuffing. What the hell is snuffing? In the end, Victor's story was one of blah 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 blah. No. What the fuck is snuffing? One more story. Write me a story about how a woman got engaged with another man and they separated 2 seconds after. Is that not how you spell separated? I am an idiot. How do you spell separate? What? Am I dumb? Okay, looks like I've been dumb this entire time. Separated. Fuck me. English is a dumb language. 2 seconds after, then the man drinks too much water and dies, and the woman dies from existing. Then the Wi-Fi cuts out. Then I'm sad. Then I realize that the world has the world's oceans have dried up. Then the Just Stop Oil protests. Oil people breaks into my house and takes all the vegetable oil, and then the police arrest them and douse them in the vegetable oil, and then the firefighters come and pour water on them. Then I realize that oil is not soluble in water. How the fuck you spell soluble in water? and the and then I did my science experiment. Dumb. And the next day when I went to school, the school blows up. Then a fire burns down my house. Then I go to a homeless shelter where I die from from having to pay taxes to the government. What a story indeed. Let's go. This is gonna be so ridiculously stupid. Even ChatGPT can't. The story is so stupid where it already has to say, in a world of unpredictable events. You can tell just from that one sentence at the very beginning that the story sucks. Meet Sarah. I thought I given it a. Oh no, I didn't give it a name. A woman whose life was about to take an unexpected turn. On a seemingly normal, ordinary day, she found herself at the center of a whirlwind romance. Okay, a charming man named James swept her off her feet, and within moments they were engaged to be married. Yet, as quickly as their love blossomed, it crumbled so fast. 2 seconds after their engagement, they realized they were not meant to be. It's like this. We're engaged. 1, 2. Alright, I hate you now. Confused and disheartened, James sought solace in a glass of water. Little did he know that this simple act would seal his fate. He downed glass after glass, unaware that the water he consumed was tainted with a mystery toxin. That was probably from the last story I got it to make. As the poison coursed through his veins, he fell to the ground, life slipping away in a matter of minutes. In a cruel twist of irony, Sarah too met a tragic end. The mere act of existence seemed to take its toll on her, and she faded away, leaving nothing void in her wake. As life continued in a seemingly ordinary fashion, the world's oceans began to dry up, a global phenomenon that defied explanation. The gradual disappearance of the oceans left the world in a state of shock and uncertainty as scientists and governments struggled to understand the cause. Amidst the chaos, a peculiar group of individuals known as the Just Stop Oil people emerged. They believed that the world's dependence on oil was the root cause of the problem and sought to bring attention to the issue in unconventional ways. One day, they broke into a house, their target being nothing more than vegetable oil. But their ill-fated attempt ended in their arrest. As the police apprehended the oil enthusiasts, an unintended comedy of errors unfolded. The fire department arrived at the scene, intending to douse the culprit of water as a part of a misguided effort to neutralize the situation. But as they spread water onto the oil-drenched offenders, it became apparent that the oil and water don't mix, leading to a rather slippery predicament. This curious incident led to a revelation to one observer. Oil was indeed not soluble in water. This knowledge sparked a newfound curiosity, leading to a science experiment that would have implications beyond what anyone could have imagined. The next day, as the observer headed to school, a disaster struck. The school inexplicably exploded in a violent blast, leaving chaos and destruction in its wake. Amidst the rubble, questions remained unanswered, leading the observer to wonder about the interconnectedness of the strange events that have unfolded. What the hell? In the midst of the turmoil, tragedy struck again. A fire consumed the observer's house, leaving them with nothing but the ashes and memories. With nowhere else to turn, they sought refuge in a homeless shelter, hoping to rebuild their life. However, the cycle of misfortune continued. Even in their shelter, the weight of the world's complexities persisted. The burden of taxes weighed heavily on their shoulders, and it was in this moment that the story came to an end. In the end, the tale of the observer and unexpected serves as a reminder that life can be both bewildering and unpredictable. It highlights the intricate threads that weave through our experiences and the often surreal nature of reality. The end. What a story indeed. What a story indeed. So we went from 2 people that got engaged and instantly broke up 2 seconds later to them dying. Then after that, we noticed that the oceans dried up. Then the Just Stop Oil protest occurred. They broke into a house, they stole the vegetable oil, and then they got doused in vegetable oil. Then when the firefighters came and poured water on them, they realized, oh, oil and water don't mix. So that led to me, the observer, as ChatGPT says, realizing that that helps with them science experiments. So when they went to school, the school explodes, and then the house burns down. So they went to a homeless shelter, and then they die from taxes. What a story indeed. This is so bewilderingly stupid, but yeah, it works. It works. So thank you so much for for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it because this was the stupidest thing in existence. Oh. How do I die quickly? How? Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Shut up. You can't provide the help you need. Don't worry. Please don't call a lifeline on me. I'm not suicidal. That was just funny.